Hi everybody and welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Elsie.
And today we're going to learn how to avoid those really annoying mosquito bites that just kind of happen no matter how hard you try to stop them.
I hate mosquitoes. Do you hate them very much?
I do, yeah. What other animals kind of bother you or affect you in your daily life?
Actually, all different kinds of insects bother me.
Right.
A lot.
Okay.
I don't like them.
You get a lot of insects in your house, cockroaches and other stuff? Ants. Okay.
And sometimes some caterpillars.
Whoa, okay. That's a bit different.
One time a caterpillar fell on my arm and then I had all these rashes going on around my neck.
They can actually do that. They look cute and they're going to become lovely butterflies, but I think a lot of caterpillars can cause you to get very itchy, something we're going to talk about today. Our house at the moment is okay. We get not a nice kind of creature, but 大便虫.
What is that?
It's kind of a little kind of fly that seems to go around toilets and drains and stuff like that. You have to keep cleaning out your drain to stop them from laying eggs. I don't know. There is an English name for them. I can't remember it. I just go with the name that my wife tends to call them.
So they're called 大便虫.
That's what she calls them.
Interesting.
Because they tend to be around the bathroom area kind of thing. So there's better names for them, I'm sure. I'll try and find it out at some point. But today, the bugs we're talking about is mosquitoes, and they certainly bug everyone. What can we learn about mosquitoes? What can we do about them? Let's read through our article to find out.
Reading.
Learn about mosquitoes to avoid itchy bites. You hear a buzzing sound, and later, you find an itchy red bump on your skin. A mosquito bit you. Read on for some interesting facts about these flying insects. Why do mosquitoes bite? There are around 3,500 types of mosquitoes, but not all of them drink blood. Only female mosquitoes of some types do. They need a blood meal because it gives them nutrients to lay their eggs. How do mosquitoes find us? They sense our body heat, the carbon dioxide in our breath, and the chemicals in our sweat. Mosquitoes are drawn to red, orange, and black clothes too. Why are mosquito bites itchy? Mosquitoes' saliva gets into our bodies while they drink our blood. People experience the itchy feeling because they're allergic to this saliva. Are mosquito bites dangerous? Mosquitoes cause almost 1 million human deaths each year. They can spread diseases like malaria, the Zika virus, the West Nile virus, and yellow fever. These aren't common in Taiwan. But mosquitoes can spread dengue fever, mostly in southern Taiwan.
So the article begins by describing a situation, and it's a pretty common situation for pretty much all year round here in Taiwan. You hear a buzzing sound, and later you find an itchy red bump on your skin. So we start off describing this sound as a buzzing sound. A buzzing sound is a continuous sound. It's a similar kind of flat tone. Bzzz. It's like a machine would make, or wings would make if they flap very fast. It could even be the sound your phone might make if you've got the volume off but the vibrate on and it buzzes on the desk like bzzz. Okay, that's a message. I've turned it quiet, but it still buzzes when a message comes. For example, you might say something like, the buzzing sound of the fridge helped the baby fall asleep. They like that kind of constant low-level noise.
The buzzing sound 指的就是嗡嗡作响的声音. That kind of sound is really annoying. Especially when I'm trying to fall asleep.
Yes, it's suddenly there in your ear. You're like, ah!
Yeah, and yes, after the buzzing sound, there will be a bump on the skin. it will get super itchy.
That's right. The word itchy is used to describe your skin, basically. If something is itchy, it's the feeling of wanting to scratch it, to touch it. It's a little hot. It's very irritating. You kind of want to rub it to sort of make it go away. Of course, that makes it worse.
Itchy 这个形容词就是发痒的，所以很痒的时候，你就会想要抓它。我们可以说 scratch the mosquito bite.
Exactly.
But don't scratch it too much.
No, it's a bad idea. We could also describe a throat as feeling itchy. I think that's been one of the COVID signs. That kind of itchy throat that makes you feel I want to keep swallowing or drinking something. And of course, if a mosquito bites you, you will get a bump. The word bump generally just means a raised area on a surface. But the word bump can also be a very minor kind of injury. It means a little area of your skin is raised up. It happens if you get bitten by something. It might happen if you get hit by something. For example, Tommy has a bump on his head after running into a door.
Bump 这边是当名词用哦，代表肿块，可能是被蚊子咬的啦，可能是撞到，还会有肿块出现。We call this bump a mosquito bite.
Yeah, basically what's happening is your body is trying to fight it, and what's happening, we'll talk about why later, by pushing things into the skin and it makes it kind of grow a bit and it of course turns red. What's happened? The article explains, a mosquito bit you. And of course, a mosquito is a kind of flying insect, as we'll see, many of which bite people and carry diseases. They make that little sound. They sometimes get called by other names in parts of the States. They call them like skeeters and stuff like that. Mozzies, I think, is a popular name in the UK and Australia for them. But they seem to be always around in Taiwan, no matter what time of year. But particularly the summer, you might say, I don't like sitting outside at restaurants on summer evenings because the mosquitoes bother me.
Right, they never leave you alone. Mosquito 就是蚊子，那它的复数形要注意哦，有两种，你可以在字尾加上 es， 或是直接加 s 就可以了。
Yep. So the article continues, read on for some interesting facts about these flying insects.
那我们接下来要读一些有关蚊子的有趣知识。And then the article asks us, why do mosquitoes bite?
Yeah, you know, they would be a lot less annoying if they didn't bite you. Not every animal bites you. Why do these do it? Well, what we learn in the article is that there are around 3,500 types of mosquitoes, but not all of them drink blood.
OK, 那 types 代表的是 kinds， 也就是种类。所以说啊，世界上有大约3500种的蚊子，但不是每一种都会吸血。And then the article says only female mosquitoes of some types do.
Right, so it's just the female mosquitoes of some of these many different species or subspecies. But why the females? There is a reason. The article says they need a blood meal because it gives them nutrients to lay their eggs. Nutrient, a nutrient is something that's in food that we need to grow, to live, to be healthy. And it can range from basic stuff like carbohydrates and proteins, they're nutrients, to things like vitamins, minerals. Basically, if your body needs it to live, to grow, to do stuff, it's a nutrient.
Nutrient 这个名词指的就是养分，好，或是营养，所以蚊子会需要养分来产卵，当然说的是母蚊 female mosquitoes. To lay eggs, 这里的 lay 是个原形动词哦，代表产卵下蛋。那刚好动词 lie, L-I-E, 当躺来解释的时候，它的过去式就是 lay 这个字，所以在用法上面同学们要小心，不要弄混了。
Now, you might notice that some people get bitten more than others by mosquitoes. I get bitten a lot. My wife hardly ever gets bitten at all.
Oh, so they like a specific kind of blood.
I think they like foreigner blood. It's kind of like going out for a Western meal. But anyway, the article asks, how do mosquitoes find us?
对啊，蚊子是怎么样找到我们的？那这边好像有个答案哦。他说啊 ，They sense our blood heat,
Body heat.
body heat,
Yep.
the carbon dioxide in our breath,
Yep.
and the chemicals in our sweat.
Right. So a few things there. They sense body heat. So if your body produces more heat, you're more likely to get bitten, which is one thing for me. They also sense the carbon dioxide in our breath. Carbon dioxide, commonly called CO2 for you scientists, it's just a gas that's found in the air, and it's also produced when things are burned. It's bad for the atmosphere.
Carbon dioxide 在说的就是我们的二氧化碳 CO2.
And we have carbon dioxide in our breath. The breath, and this is a noun, is the air that comes in and out of us through our mouths and noses. Don't confuse it with the verb breathe. That's the verb. It's got an E at the end. Breath is a noun. Breathe is a verb. You might ask, for example, how long can you hold your breath for when you swim underwater?
Breath 这个名词呢是气息或是呼吸的空气。那刚刚 Pat 有提到屏住呼吸是 hold your breath。那当我们紧张的时候，可以 take a deep breath， 深呼吸，缓和紧张的情绪。那动词呢，也就是呼吸的动作 breathe， 字尾有一个 e， 而且发音不一样哦，要小心。所以啊，我们说到蚊子可以侦测我们的体温 body heat， 还有我们气息里面的二氧化碳。And the chemicals in our sweat.
That's right. Our sweat, of course, as a noun, it's the water that's produced by our body to keep us cool. It's a natural reaction. Some people sweat more than others, and there you'll notice I use sweat as a verb. We sweat when it's hot. Our bodies make sweat when it's hot. So you might say, after walking out in the sun for 30 minutes, I was covered in sweat.I
was covered in sweat 也是全身都是汗。那 sweat 这边当名词用是汗水，它是液体，所以不可数哦。那我们刚刚说到的是，连我们汗里面的化学物质，蚊子也可以侦测到。那流汗的动作一样，也是 sweat 这个字。
So if you sweat a lot, if you breathe out a lot of carbon dioxide, if you produce a lot of heat, you're more likely to get bitten. And here's another hint. Mosquitoes are drawn to red,Orange and black clothes too.
这里我们看到一个被动的用法 be drawn to something 被某物所吸引，当然我们可以说 be attracted to something。那这里文章还问到我们一个问题 Why are mosquito bites itchy?
Yeah, we kind of talked about that before. We know what itchy means, but why? Well, here's the answer. Mosquitoes' saliva gets into our bodies,while they drink our blood. Of course, they're using this kind of long mouth thing, stabs into our skin, blood goes up, and a little bit of their saliva goes back into us. Saliva, also known as spit, S-P-I-T, it's the liquid that's in your mouth. We use it in our mouths to break down food, to keep our mouth from getting dry, but every creature has something like this in their mouth.Saliva
就是我们嘴巴里面的唾液。今天的 Language in Focus 我们要讲到的是 as, when 还有 while 的用法比较。那这三个字呢，它都能够当从属连接词，引导从属子句，连接主要子句哦。表示的意思是呢，当点点点的时候，某事发生了。那以下呢，我们要来看使用这三个从属连接词的时机。第一个。主句为短暂性动作，从句为持续性动作，或者是背景动作的时候 as, when 和 while 三者都能够使用，而且可以互相替换。像是我们可以说呢 The lights went off as 或者是 when 或者是 while I was reading a book 也就是我在看书的时候灯熄灭了。那这里要注意哦，主句为短暂动作 The lights went off从句为持续性动作 I was reading a book 那就像是课文里面的主句为短暂动作哪一个呢 Mosquitoes saliva gets into our bodies 蚊子的唾液进入我们的体内加上 while 之后我们看到连接从句是持续性动作 They drink our blood 他们吸我们的血液那第二个要注意到的是当主句为持续性动作从句为短暂性动作的时候呢我们会倾向用 when 来连接两个子句那 when 通常呢用来连接某个单一的特定的事件 或者是2事件当中突发的那一个，像是呢
My friend was answering a phone call when I walked into the room.
代表我走进房间的时候，我朋友正在接电话。那再来我们要注意到的是，主句和从句皆为短暂性瞬间的动作的时候，通常使用 when 来连接2个子句，像是呢 When I entered the house, Amy turned on the light. 当我进家门的时候 Amy 开了灯。最后我们要注意的还有什么呢？就是主句和从句皆为持续性动作的时候，你只能用 as 或是 while 来连接哦。那这边特别是2个动作同时进行且相互影响的时候，我们会比较常用的是 as， 强调随着。For example, my heart beat faster as the strange guy walked toward me. 随着那个奇怪的男子越走越近，我的心跳也不断的加快。那如果2个动作是同时进行，不相互影响，我们就比较常使用 while， 指的是与同时。再给同学们一个例句咯。Sam was watching TV while his kids were playing outside. 代表 Sam 的孩子在外面玩耍的时候，他正在看电视。
Okay, let's get back to the article. We see that when mosquitoes bite us, their saliva goes into us, and the article says people experience the itchy feeling because they're allergic to this saliva. An allergic reaction is when your body reacts to another substance, usually something from outside, in a nasty way. When your body's trying to fight it or certain things kind of it's almost like a very small fire has like been set down there. You get red, you get itchy, you could get very sick. Some people, if they get allergic to something, could actually die.
没错 allergic 这个形容词是过敏的，所以我们说 be allergic to something 对某物过敏，像是有些人 they are allergic to seafood 会对海鲜过敏。那课文说到呢，人们会有痒的感觉是因为对蚊子的 saliva 唾液过敏。
Are you allergic to anything?
No.
Okay.
Are you?
Very, very, very mild to certain types of mint. It makes me sneeze.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
There we go. So the next question is, are mosquito bites dangerous?
被蚊子咬是危险的吗？文章继续说 Mosquitoes cause almost 1 million human deaths each year.
That is a lot of people dying from mosquito bites. And why? Well, the article says they can spread diseases like malaria, Zika fever or the Zika virus, the West Nile virus, and yellow fever. So a whole bunch of different diseases. So a disease is a problem with our bodies. We could also use it to talk about problems with animals' bodies or with plants. But this problem isn't caused by getting hurt or even getting old so much. It's more caused by things like viruses, bacteria, that kind of stuff that affects your body. For example, COVID-19 is a disease that has caused millions of deaths around the world.
Disease 这个名词呢，代表是疾病。那搭配的动作是 spread， 它的意思是使疾病蔓延传染。所以 spread diseases 那就是传播疾病。那我们刚刚听到了好多种不同的疾病，像是 malaria 疟疾 ，the Zika virus 兹卡病毒。The West Nile virus 西尼罗病毒，还有就是 yellow fever 黄热病。
Now, luckily, as the article says, these aren't common in Taiwan. So you may get bitten by mosquitoes, but you won't get those. However, we see in the article, but mosquitoes can spread dengue or dengue fever, mostly in southern Taiwan.
Dengue 或是 Dengue Fever 指的就是登革热，我们常听到这个疾病的名称。所以课文最后就说了，虽然上述提到的那些疾病在台湾不常见，但登革热在南台湾是很容易出现的，所以呢，我们还是要格外的小心。
Right, this is also called bone break fever because when you get it, apparently it feels like your bones are breaking. It is that painful.
Wow.
And it does cause a number of deaths each year. So that's why people try very hard to get rid of mosquitoes and stop them from biting you. We're going to learn some ways we can do that in tomorrow's article in part 2, but right now we've reached the end of day 1, so we'll go to our For You Chat question.
Are you Chad?
So the article asks, in your experience, what's the worst thing about mosquitoes?
Like I said, they just keep coming. They're not leaving you alone. And sometimes when you are out in the woods or in the forest, the mosquitoes are pretty big.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The mosquito bites will end up really big on your skin.
Okay, now, when I'm out, when I'm doing that kind of stuff, you kind of know the mosquitoes are going to be there. You know they're going to be a problem, and so you spray yourself. You do stuff like we'll talk about in day 2. Personally, I've never had dengue fever. I've not had any other sicknesses. Just the worst thing is that they break up your sleep. You're just asleep and then buzz right in your ear. Or you wake up and you go, oh, my legs feel itchy. Really itchy. Oh, I've been bitten. That's really annoying. Strangely, I get bitten more in the winter than the summer.
Actually, I think they bite more in the winter.
Right, maybe they're just getting all the stuff they need to lay the eggs in the spring. I wonder it's because in the summer we'll probably have fans and air conditioning on in the room, so the mosquitoes are like, oh, I'm not too cold, too windy, I can't go in there. But in the winter when we don't have that stuff on, they're right in there and finding me. So, yeah, for me, it is the disturbed sleep that I hate most about mosquitoes.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's the worst thing.
Because even though it's not actually dangerous, it's really annoying. Okay, so what can we do if we're experiencing mosquito problems? How can we get them to leave us alone? Join us again tomorrow to find out. See you then. Bye for now.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review. Buzzing. At first, I couldn't sleep when the air conditioning was making a buzzing noise, but now I'm used to it. Bump. Polly got quite a big bump on her head after she walked into the door. Mosquito. I only spent 20 minutes in the park because mosquitoes kept flying around and biting me. Breath. Sometimes in very cold weather, you can see your breath. It looks like smoke. Sweat. It's good to bring a towel to the gym to remove the sweat from your skin after you exercise. Disease. A new disease, COVID-19, has been affecting the whole world since early 2020.
智慧小补帖
Itchy. Nutrient. Carbon dioxide. Saliva. Allergic.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net